There is a job title you can find on LinkedIn right now: Selenium Automation Engineer. We named an engineering role after a tool. Surgeons somehow avoid calling themselves scalpel specialists, but in QA, wearing your tool as your job title is noble, and it has been for as long as most of us have been working. A Stack Overflow article from late July says the attachment is rational and it has a better explanation than habit, which sounds comforting right up until you follow the argument to where it ends. The article is by Donovan, and the title gives you the argument. Developers are attached to tools because tools encode trust. It is written about developers, but read it as a tester, and every section lands on QA. So that is the plan for today. Why your tool loyalty makes sense, why the AI wave attacks it in a very specific way, and what deserves your effort next. And the ending is good news for testers, for once. Alright, so the core argument. Every tool you have mastered is storing trust. You have used it 10,000 times and it behaved the same way 10,000 times. Your fingers know it before your brain does. Trisha G calls that unconscious competence. Donovan compares this to a kitchen knife. If your knife changed shape and weight every week, you would be relearning it forever and you would trust it never. So when an engineer flatly refuses to switch frameworks, look again. That is a person protecting an asset. Now let's look into why this lands harder in QA than anywhere else. Think about what a regression suite actually is. 5 years old, 10,000 runs. Every run that caught a real bug made a deposit, and every quiet run on a healthy release made another. That suite is a savings account, and the balance is trust. Developers use tools to build things. We use tools to issue verdicts. Every test run ends in a claim. This build is safe, and a claim is only worth the trust standing behind it. So of course we get attached. The attachment is the job. Now put numbers on this. Stack Overflow's 2025 developer survey. Usage of AI tools went from 76% to 84% in 1 year. Trust went the other way. Fewer than 1 in 3 developers now say they trust the accuracy of what these tools produce. Only 3% highly trusted. And the most reported frustration from 66% of developers is answers that are almost right but not quite. The expensive kind of wrong. Because a human still has to find the wrong part. So usage is climbing while trust is sinking. Adopting something you do not trust has a name in corporate life: a mandate. Coming back to that kitchen knife, because for QA, the knife problem is worse. The AI testing market brings out new tools faster than teams can evaluate them, and the tools that already exist keep changing underneath you. The behavior you calibrated against in March is gone by June. Trust needs repetition, and repetition needs the thing to hold still. As of this recording, almost nothing here holds still, so the savings account never gets past the first deposit. And one feature deserves its own slide: self-healing tests. The pitch sounds really handy. A selector breaks, the tool finds the element anyway, the suite keeps moving, and nobody gets paged. For layout drift on low-risk screens, honestly, give it a try. Now, my opinion. The moment a check can rewrite its own definition of correct, it stops being a check. The run went green, sure, but against which test? The one you wrote or the one it quietly became? A suite that edits itself is the thing under test grading its own homework. The dashboard stays green, and what that green means is now negotiable. If this sounds like fear of change, watch the builders. Jason Huggins created Selenium in 2004. As of this recording, his new project is called Vibium, and he pitches it as Selenium for AI. It is AI native browser automation with an MCP server built in, so AI agents can drive the browser directly. Its assertion method takes a claim in plain English and comes back with a verdict and a confidence score. A check used to have 2 possible outcomes. This one can be 95% sure. So the man who taught browsers to follow instructions is now teaching them to make judgment calls. Now the fair pushback, and it is strong. Tool depth still pays the rent. Job posts name tools. Interviews screen for tools, and the person who knows Playwright cold is the one shipping this sprint. Deterministic automation is not going anywhere either. Bjarne Stroustrup puts it this way in the same article: English is a lousy language for expressing things that have to be unambiguous. And in the companion podcast, Trisha G offers the sane middle ground. Match the problem to the tool. Precise, repeatable work stays deterministic. Bulk generation. Fine, let the model type. So here is my verdict. The article's sharpest point, in my words, is that producing code got cheap and checking it got expensive. Read that again as a QA engineer. The bottleneck of the entire industry just moved onto our desk. Charity Majors pushed back on the phrase human in the loop, and her point was ownership. A loop belongs to whoever answers for it, and in software quality, that is you. So the tool line on your resume depreciates like a car. The judgment that decides what gets trusted compounds like the savings account. Both are assets, only one survives the migration. So what do you do with this by Friday? 3 moves. First, rewrite the top line of the resume. Keep the tool list and above it, say what the tools were for. Cut regression time, reduced escape defects, decided what ships. Second, pick exactly one AI testing tool and run it like an experiment. Point it at a suite you already trust, run both for a month, and write down every disagreement. That document is a trust ledger, and walking into a tool debate holding evidence beats walking in holding a preference. Third, keep one deterministic anchor on every path that moves money. When the vendor demo gets exciting, the anchor lets you say, prove it. In a nutshell, the article is right. Tools encode trust, and QA engineers were never wrong to be attached. Just be precise about which part is the asset, because the trust is the part that transfers. So, a question for the comments. Which tool is welded to your identity today, and what evidence would convince you to unbolt it? And if a teammate argues frameworks with you every sprint, this video makes decent ammunition. Alright, so that's all for this video, and I will see you in the next.